Welcome to this Perceptive Readers Podcast. Hi, I'm James Lynch. This is part 3 of Considering Whatever It Takes. You don't assume, you see. You don't presume. You don't become presumptuous. And that's what, I want you all to understand, because different people, when they decide for themselves what they're going to do in their life, at times they may not do something not because of fear at all, but it is because, according to their God-given conscience, you see, they know there's a proper respect and dignity that you just don't cross the line on. And so sometimes in talking about how people want to make the world a better place, if such things as dignity and respect is ignored, you see, of like the older ones or people who have positions and even positions of trust, then still, what type of world would it be if all the methods used to get there are just filled with a lot of disrespect, you see? So I wanted to share that with you because keep in mind, just to use another illustration here, back in the 50s and 60s and stuff, Westerns were very popular. And you would have a unknown person coming to town at times, and people didn't really know who the person was. And the person may even have lived a life that involved a lot of violence. But because the people that they were around were so peaceful, so tranquil for them, that they hid or buried their, weapons and other things, skills that they had, in the ways of even violence, to live among the people and to gain the peace of mind that they have. Yet, in some of these written stories that was in the Westerns, there would sometimes be the bullies that would find their way to that town or what have you, and would start, picking on the people. And because the person has changed so much, you see, looking like a peaceful farmer, if you will, these ones may not have recognized, who this individual is. And so would treat this individual even the same way. So what could happen over time, and see in some of these Westerns it did, the person would be pushed so much, you see, at times, where the next thing you know, they may find, hey, if I can't do this, for myself, I got to protect the people, at least, you see. And so they may take upon themselves, again, an old personality that they may, they wouldn't have done otherwise. So the reason why I'm sharing this again with you in this account, I actually had 2 or 3 reasons pop in my mind while I was talking, but I better stick to the original reason. This is to just continue to let you know that just because a person does not talk about their experience or whatever that they had in life, you see, it may be best left buried, to use that expression at times, and just encourage the person from that point forward to do the best that they can, you see, and and help them out. And if the person falls back here or falls back there or what have you, still realize that when a person is sincerely doing the best that they can, there are certain even negative practices that will go away in time, or you see less and less. You see, if once again, persons are not purposely trying to antagonize or agitate them. I use the other example of people who may have been alcoholics or are alcoholics or what have you. Remember, if they found out that they have a weakness in this area for over drinking or what have you, and they just decide they're just not going to do it anymore, then if other persons just want to see where they stand, are constantly, putting that alcoholic beverage in some of their, private places where normally all they just had was orange juice to drink, or in other areas, always trying to basically, lay a snare for the person when the person is doing everything that they can not to, go in certain places that would get his senses or her senses all, agitated or riled up in order to take a drink, then you can see that person was doing all that they could according to their pattern and way of life to protect themselves. And should they be looked down upon because they found again what works for them and their relationship that they're continuing to try to maintain, with God. So I just wanted to share all these things because there are many persons that still do become successful. Why? Because they learn and know about themselves, even in moderation, that helps them to be the person that they want to be. See, it's one thing to be an outright hypocrite. It's another thing to actually still be trying to do the best that you can, and just trials of life at times just cause you to slip and fall, maybe 6 or 7 times. But the sincere one, well, the good book says the righteous one will still just get right back up. You see, with God's help, they will stand. So I wanted to share all of these different examples here because in a nutshell, the skies can still be the limit for you in what you're doing or what you're trying to pursue and things of that nature. Just make sure that you never presumptuously still end up taking something that belongs to someone else, you see, without a serious meeting of the minds and a conversation even at times to make sure that, is this okay that I do this? Because I don't want to be presuming or be presumptuous on something that I know God has given you, because I certainly wouldn't want you to presume or be presumptuous and take something from me on this important level, you see, that God has allowed for you to exercise too in your conscience. So does it mean do whatever it takes? Are there exceptions? Well, one exception for sure is anything that God says, this is mine, or this is what I gave to him or her. Yes, there's an exception to whatever it takes in that way. So thank you for being here on this Pop Books Update moment. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. You have just listened to the Perceptive Readers Podcast. Remember, until next time, if you read something that encourages you to improve or enhance your life for the better, it becomes your reality.